So I got a theory. I have a theory. Okay, check this out. So what if Deku actually had All for One? So if you read the My Hero manga, you're probably thinking, how is Deku eventually going to beat Shigaraki? Because it looks like that's how the story is going to take place. We see Shigaraki and he's broken and overpowered to the point where it looks like he would slap majority of the pro heroes. So then it got me thinking, Deku is going to have a major power increase to beat Shigaraki. And I was thinking, there's not a lot of ways that he could do it. So then I started theorizing in my head and I said, wait, what if he had the ability to take Shigaraki's quirk away? So I know you're probably thinking, well, okay, 1 second, that's outrageous, that's crazy. He already has One for All, which is an amazing quirk already, and he has all these other quirks that are stockpiled into it. But just hear me out. To take on an enemy like Shigaraki, Deku is going to need a major power up. And I don't think the way that Shigaraki is looking right now, that One for All and Deku, as he is now, even with a time skip, would be able to stand up against Shigaraki. So then I started theorizing and thinking, All for One would be really good for Deku because at that point he would have the ability to take Shigaraki's quirk away, and I think it would fit perfect for him because it would kind of be like Avatar, where he wouldn't have to kill him, but he could make him useless in a sense, because the destructive capability on my man Shigaraki is insane. So let me explain why I think Deku could possibly get All for One. I know this theory might have a lot of plot holes in it and might, not be the sturdiest theory, but I would like to think that it makes sense in a way. So before we get into how Deku could have All for One, let's explain One for All first. So All for One, aka Shigaraki, has the ability to take quirks and give quirks. He had a brother who didn't have a quirk, so he gave him a stockpiling quirk. Little did we know that his brother had a hidden quirk that was the power to transfer his quirk. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. And in mixing these two quirks, it made a mutation quirk, which is One for All, which we see now. But we also know that it's a quirk that takes the other quirks from the people who's had it before. Those are also passed down with the stockpiling quirk. So my theory was, at one point in time, All for One had this quirk. All for One had the same power as his brother that he gave the stockpiling quirk to. All for One's brother has the power to stockpile and pass it down. And what did All for One do? He gave him the stockpiling quirk by passing it down. It's basically the same thing. And we've seen in the manga, and I don't know about the anime, but it says that Midoriya is like All for One, and All Might agrees with that. And I don't think Horikoshi would just throw Bakugo saying that in for no reason. And we have to remember, these two quirks, One for All and All for One, are linked up in some way or another. And there also is some foreshadowing to Deku having multiple quirks in a way. Well, Deku already has multiple quirks because of One for All, but he's the most knowledgeable when it comes to quirks. He knows every single quirk, he writes about them, he learns new quirks, and I'm like, why does Deku have all this knowledge for no reason? And I'm like, at this point, if he has All for One, it would be the perfect power for him. And not only could he use it to take quirks away, he could use it in the same way as All for One and give quirks. Maybe he could give a quirk to All Might. Maybe he could give a quirk back to Miriam. And I don't think we would see in a way where Deku goes power hungry just like All for One did. Or maybe he could. Maybe that would be an interesting plot twist to see Deku trying to struggle with this immense power that he has now. The ability to take quirks and the ability to give quirks. But some of you are probably thinking, well, if this was the case, wouldn't we see vestiges of All for One inside of Deku? But no, because we don't see vestiges of All Might yet. We're seeing vague vestiges of All Might with inside Deku, but since he's not fully dead, he's not there yet. And I don't think All for One is close to being dead. It just seems pretty logical to me that we have the stockpiling quirk, and it stockpiles power, and All for One transferred this quirk to his brother from himself. So this quirk was a part of All for One at one time, and he transferred it into his brother, and when he transferred it into his brother, part of his power went with the quirk. Like I said, if this was the actual case, we would be able to see Deku defeat Shigaraki in a way where he didn't have to kill him. I know it would be the whole Avatar thing, but I think that's probably the only logical explanation for how he would be able to beat Shigaraki at this point in time, using multiple quirks and then having the ability to take away quirks. Just like Aang from Avatar. I know I keep on comparing the two, but it's so similar, and it seems the only logical explanation for how he could beat Shigaraki, because like I said, Shigaraki is a monster. I know I didn't explain it in a lot of depth, but I just want to get it out there, and I want you guys to let me know what you think. Do you think there's a possibility that Deku could have All for One just because of the way the stockpiling quirk works and how it was transferred on, and other quirks are being transferred down the same way? I really think it makes a little bit of sense, but I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments what you think about the theory, if you think it's possible for Deku to get All for One. But that's all I have for today. Remember to let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.